Well, hello there to the people who are ready to start their day. The Pilates way, of course. In terms of where you go from here, if you can have with you today a head pad, that's a small cushion if you need to from your sofas, even a rolled up hand towel, not a flannel but a hand towel. I need you to put something under your head for 90% of the lying down work to make sure that actually we're not stressing anywhere, we're actually releasing and mobilising. You'll be using your head pad when lying on the side and when lying on your back, and it's the skull that will go onto the head pad. So I'm just here, it's Thursday morning, there's a wonderful sunshine moment outside which is a bit of a relief. I might think I'm almost warm today. And it's nearly the end of the week, another week, and we've kept each other going. In relationship to the time, it's just before 9, and I'm looking to see who's here for this workout. Good morning, Patricia. Great to see you. Hope you're loving your life at the moment. Workouts every day. And Claire, lovely to see you too. It's going to be a really nice workout. I think as I wait for people to wander into the room, when you're doing this workout, you're going to work on all of your breathing muscles to feel that connection and actually know that connection into your core. If you work with what I ask for, the breathing deeply in and out, you'll start to get lots of middle work. And it's not overly stressing your system. It's going to actually make your system feel alive and give us more access to stuff that goes on in the pelvis. Good morning, Anne, too. So we'll be doing pelvic rotation, tilting, we'll be doing thigh bone rotation, we'll be doing thoracic extension, rotation and flexion. The neck will be involved in that, so that whole structure here will be happening. But in the meantime, if you just entered the room, which is lovely, then grab yourself a small pillow, as in cushion, thin one. At the studio we have those head pads, don't we, between the shoulder pads. So think of that kind of depth of squishiness. And if you haven't got anything like that, go and grab a towel, a hand towel, and roll it up so that it makes just enough to actually take your skull into a good position and then take your side lying position there. Morning, Sarah. Hopefully we can stretch you out today. I know some of us, as we get towards the end of the week, feel really overly tired. For those that are working, it's almost as though they're working harder than. Those that aren't working, they're just feeling stressed out because they need more routine. And those that are homeschooling, oh my gosh, can't even think what that must feel like. All I know is what I'm doing today will hopefully make a difference to your day. In terms of the actual workout process, you'll be starting standing up. Hi, Susan. I was actually going to start you lying down, but I'm going to give you some inside information. I started prepping all of this lying down, and I've tweaked a muscle under my scapula. So if I can do that, I don't want to do that to any of you because all I can think about now is the muscle under my scapula, and I'm trying not to think about it because my body already hurts. So good morning, Tina, as well. So I want to start you standing just to get a little bit of blood flow before I then lie you down where you will rest and hopefully not pull a muscle under your shoulder blade. Can't believe I've done it, but I have, and I'm not going to fake the fact that I haven't. So we've got Margaret, we've got Lorna again. Hello to you too. For those just wandering into the room, you need a head pad that will be used for your skull. And Diane's made it again with her internet. So allow yourself the time to get ready. You will be starting with a very brief standing moment. That wasn't the plan, but it is right now. Standing moment just to get circulation going and that kind of big breaths in and out. And then it'll be going to really slow, deliberate stretch. So stretching, stretching, stretching will be what we have today. Don't bomb off in the workout. So this workout is even more therapeutically trying to organise the shoulder stabilisers, organise the pelvic stabilisers, and get every joint more mobile than it normally would be, but also you have to stabilise it at the same time. So you have both things happening today. I was thinking to myself as I was doing some of the prep, I was thinking, crumbs, if Joseph Pilates saw half of us do Pilates in the normal way, he'd actually just shoot us all and go, that isn't Pilates. Obviously, because we have older bodies and we aren't ballerinas. Good morning, Donna. And Emma's here too. Hello, Emma. We do Pilates for the aging soul, as it were. And so a lot of what we do is we're trying to do the best we can, which is what Pilates really is for the older person. I know that, Margaret. I know it was meant to be hello, not hell. I kind of thought, it's a stretch workout, it can't be hell. She's just missed the O off hello, so Margaret's just correcting herself. Emma and Margaret, you need a head pad or a rolled up towel, and I'm going to start the workout now. So it's great to see the people in the room. I'll have you in mind as I teach away. Any problems with not being able to hear me, then let me know. So we go to the usual scenario of, just in case there's no connection, I'll simply press record on another device. Now that being done, we're ready to roll. So you start position, as I said earlier, we're going to just do a quick brief standing position. You understand the rules now. Everything has to be level and aligned. Feet are parallel. Slowly squat and slowly stand. Allow your arms to move. As you're squatting and standing, get the breathing muscles going. So inhaling and exhaling. Imagine they're the only muscles you've got to appeal to as you move in and out of that squat. Keep the feet parallel as you understand. Try and spread your toes. Mine always want to lift up. And inhaling and exhaling at your leisure, but definitely happening. Keep this going. And imagine that the breath pulls you down and pushes you back up. So the breathing muscles are going to lower you and lift you. Your arms can reach and return. There's no deliberate overstress going on in the shoulder joint. And this is a movement pattern you can do at any moment on any part of your day. Inhaling and exhaling. Now I'm going to take you into a little rhythm here, so I'm just going to change position so you can see me. As you go down into this squat, just stay and allow your arms and your pelvic position. I did this yesterday in some of the warming up workout. So you're inhaling and exhaling. Now we do it for 3, 2, 1, and then we push up into a stand, inhaling, big circle of the arms, and inhaling and exhaling, and up you reach, and down you go. Already your abdominal area should feel as though it's core connecting as you do the springy activity through the legs. Inhaling, shoulders away from the neck, everything feeling a little bit freer already. 2 more sequences. Last time. And all the way up. There you go. That was your warm-up. So you're going to go to your mat. For those that maybe have just wandered into the room, I'm suggesting a head pad. It's worth getting one even now, so don't worry about being out of time. Just go and get something that you can put under your head. If you don't have a pad or a slim cushion, then get a towel, a hand towel, roll it up, and that's going to make up where your skull gets to rest so your neck gets a break. So we're going to lie on our backs. Make sure you lie down, look at your knees. So when I'm on my own in the studio, I check my thigh bones. I'll then put my head back, and remember, the head pad is under your skull. So people like Tom Bathgate, Sarah Butler, Susan, yeah, you definitely need a head pad. So make sure you don't think, oh, I won't bother today. You do need a head pad. From this position here, then take your arms. Have the palms so they're about ready to clap. They are chest width, shoulder width apart. Here starts your breathing mobilization of the trunk and the shoulder. So inhaling, let your arms open, and exhaling, pull your abdominal wall down as the breath out happens and the arms come back. Breathe in and open out, and then breathe out, and follow the breath out with your arms closing. Inhaling to open through the chest area, exhaling, keep your nose pushing slightly forwards, the chin slightly drawn down. Breathe deeply in, reach your arms wide, and breathe deeply out, and stay. Now we're going to switch the breath. Inhale and lower your arms down, and exhale, stay. Inhaling, keep your arms reaching, not resting on the floor. Exhale. See if you can tune into your middle area, core connecting with the breath out. So every breath out should give you pelvic floor and oblique middle connect. Keeping your arms where they are, palms facing the ceiling then, breath out will pull your arms in the direction of the sides of your hips, and breath in will float them away again, no tension in the neck. Exhale, core connect, and no imprint, perfect neutral. Inhaling and exhale, open shoulder, head heavy, sacrum heavy. Inhale, reaching, your thumbs are pointing kind of away as it were. Exhaling, as your abdominal wall, rib cage, core connects, your arms come to the sides of your pelvis as though you have plates of gorgeous food on the hands that you don't want to tip, tilt or drop. Last time, exhale, pull those arms in and turn the palms to face the sides of your thighs. Inhale, float your arms to the ceiling now, and then exhale, turn the palms down and curl up with the breath out. Stay absolutely in neutral. Inhale, roll the thoracic spine down. And imagine you pushing on heavy springs so you end up with your arms strong from the armpit. Inhale, roll the spine down. Keep the chin nodded in. Exhale, the rib cage, breath out, pushes your arms forwards into flexion and up. Inhaling, lay that spine down. Follow your breath. Feel the abdominal wall deeply connect without tucking under. So your learning moment, whilst you're doing the mobilised stretch, is it's all pelvic core stabilisation, using the breath muscles, which is the weakest connection everyone has in their lives, okay? We're great at the big vigorous movements. We struggle with the detail of Pilates. You've got just one more as you're waking up, the connection between breath out, pushing down and stay. Just stay here, breathe in. Then breathe out and see if you can slide one hand almost the side of the shin. Breathe in and come back. Breathe out. So now we have what we call a shortening of the waist. It's not a hip hinge because it's the oblique that pulls from the ribs to the hips. You breath out and breath in. Inhale and lay the spine down. Have your arms by the sides but keep them strong. You're staying in your neutral pelvic position still. Breathing out now, slowly push your heel forwards and away from you. And breathe in and slide it back. Listen to my cueing. Breathe out, feel the core connect. Breathe in and slide that heel back. Exhale, pelvic floor. Sacrum stays absolutely level. If you'd rather put your fingertips on your hip bones, you can, but ideally you want to push your forearms against the floor as the breath out brings a connection to your core. Exhale the ribs, pelvic floor, navel to spine. Reach, inhale, draw that heel back. Breathing out, feel the abdominal workload. Inhale, pull back in. It's your last one. And inhaling back in. Ready for your pelvic tilts. Check that both knees have landed back with heels equal, thigh bones level. So breath out now. Take your arms wide and chest to the ceiling. Arms wide, palms to the ceiling, not chest. Breath out to pelvic tilt. So now you feel the rolling pelvis. Stay and breathe in just here. You must feel as though the abdominal wall pulled flat in the direction of the floor. Inhaling, exhale, roll through to neutral towards tailbone. Breathe out the rib cage, pelvic floor, and without doing anything to your glute area, side bottom completely relaxed. Have a breath in, feel the imprint and the flattening of the abdominal wall. Exhaling to roll back again. You've got 4 more. Exhaling, it's like it floats back. Inhaling, exhaling, roll, drop on your pelvic floor, feel the internal oblique, create that flexion from the hip bones. And last 2. So in doing this systematically, breathe in once you get there, breathe out and release. You actually mobilise, reorganise some deep pelvic stability muscles that go from the lumbar down to your thigh bones. Last moment. And let that go back to neutral. With your arms here now, you're going to exhale and pull your right leg up. Inhale and float it down. If you do the exhale, pulling the abdomen tight in, you'll feel everything here working really hard. Inhale, lower back down. Now if you want to pull your arms down as you lift your leg up, inhale back down. It might help you connect your rib cage and inhale down. This is hip stability, pelvic stability. So you're mobilising the relationship between your trunk and your hip bones. Without the breath, you're just doing an activity. Okay, with the breath, you're mobilising, hydrating, stabilising. The next time you find that you've got your left leg in the air, staying there then, you're going to put your exhale to curl up and reach to your left, sliding like we did earlier, and inhale, recenter back down. Exhale as you curl, slide to your left, shortening the waist, rib cage to hip bone, keeping the pelvis true. You'll keep your right heel on the floor as you reach forwards and back. The side slide is a mini side bend. It reorganises the thoracic spine. Last time. And lower that leg down. Breathe in, keep complete neutral. Leg up in the air, so now it's your right leg. My left leg, my heel is active against the floor, so my hamstrings and my adductors are active. You curl and you reach as if you could reach for your side shin, and you return back. Breathing out, and towards the end of the breath out, reach through your shoulder, armpit, and return back. I'm not rotating, I'm side sliding, activating some deeper muscles that are trunk stability sides. Exhaling, shortening the waist without hitching the hip. So I'm heavy on my sacrum, I am in neutral. Let's do you one more. And return back down. Okay people, keep your right leg up in the air and then breath out to pelvic tilt to imprint. Keep the imprint, press your hands against the floor and pull both legs so you're now in tabletop. Place your hands just behind the back of the thigh. Have a check at the knee joint so the skull should feel as though it's comfortable, nothing blocking the neck. I can see my knees are level. Holding onto the back of the thighs, nod the chin, breath out, curl up, breathe in, reach your arms, breathe out, put your hands back to the back of the thighs and keep the chin nodded in until you roll completely down. Exhaling, inhale, reach the arms, exhaling, keep your shoulders, your chest open. Exhale. Push through your armpits to straighten out your arms. Inhale, exhale, bend your elbows, fold your arms back in. Let's have the legs reaching. Breathing out, nod, roll, legs reach. Flatten the abdomen, breathe in. Breathe out, slowly bend the legs. Bend your elbows and roll the spine down. Exhale, stretch the legs. Pull the back to the floor, reach your armpits away from your shoulders. Come back and down you go. 3 more. Arms reach. We're getting a deep abdominal connect without stress. Inhale, the arms reach. And exhale, coming back, pull your thighs tight together. Last time. Arms reach, inhale, exhale, and back down. Now, have your arms by your sides, keep your legs in the air, but you can drop your heels down a tad. You're keeping a gentle imprint, there should be no stress going on. If you need to pull your knees a bit close to you, that is absolutely acceptable. Exhale now and see if you can imagine Rolling towards your right side bottom area, but keep the knees level with each other. Inhale and stay, and then exhale. Go heavy as you roll to the central position of your sacrum. Breathe deeply in. Breathing out, you're coming to the other side. There should be no stress, no strain. And when I look at my knee joints, they're level. There's no sliding of my hips, my thighs. And on the next breath out, staying heavy, you go back to your sacrum. It feels nice. It's almost like a massage of that sacral area. Exhale again, and stay. Now I'm going to let my top leg straighten and go a little bit further. My shoulder blades are down, my hips have rolled to the side bottom. I haven't let my thighs slide. Then bend that leg back again and come rolling and kind of ground yourself when you're back to this central moment with the breath out. Breathe in, ready to go the other way. Exhaling, the side roll, the leg reaches. Keep the breath going. You can breathe as much as you want here. The thighs are tight together, but you're getting a little bit of rotation into your pelvis and coming back again. Heavy, 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 heavy. Glance at your thigh bones. Ready to go again. Breath out, roll. Now this time, stretch the underneath leg and reach your other leg. So both legs are straight. You haven't let them collapse. You feel a stretch to the side bottom and side hip. Bend both legs in again, kneecaps are level, and roll. Imagine blood flow as you're rolling back to the sacrum. One more time. Breathe out, core connect, and to roll to the side of the hip. Breathe in. Breathe out to stretch one leg, underneath leg, and then push the other leg away. Breathe in. Breathe out. Flatten the abdominals. Pull the knees in and roll heavily to the sacrum. Now pull your right knee into your chest and lower the left leg down. Breathe in. And then exhale, lift that leg up and other side. So pull this thigh right in. It's a bit of a stretch for both your flexor and your bum. Inhaling, pull this shin in. Exhale. Inhale, push away. Okay, the next time, as you pull the leg in, curl up and stay. You're now stretching your thoracic. Pull in, exhale. So deliberately help yourself stay up there by pulling in with the shin, nose to knee, knee to nose. Feel that reach and reach. One more. And then pull both legs in. Keep your legs tight in and put your heels to the floor. You ready for your hip rolls? If you want to take the block away now, you can. Or you can even put the block onto the inner thigh. In fact, yeah, put your pad, your towel, to the inner thigh and roll up. Breathe in and return back down. Now inhale, float your arms. Rolling up, exhaling, reach. Let your arms go as far back as you're happy. Pull against that block as your breath out allows everything to roll back down, and then float your arms to the ceiling again. Exhale, find the block, find the pelvic roll, push against your heels, pull your inner thighs tight together and just stay here for a moment. Exhaling. Pull on that block, drawing up on pelvic floor, shrinking through the hip bone area. If it's in your lumbar, you've lifted too high and you haven't had enough of a pelvic tilt. Keep breathing in and out. Pull against the block again, press through your feet and roll through the spine. Float your arms back to the ceiling. We have one more. Exhale. Massage the abdominal wall. Stretch your arms away from the trunk. Keep your hamstrings activated. Pull on the block through the inner thigh. The adductor connects to your abdominals. Keep your arms reaching and your ribcage breath, bellying you flat. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Pull up that block again and exhale. Float your arms and float your spine down. Take the block away and it can go back under your skull. Just have a look at where your knees are and take your feet wider. So you've got a bit of a V shape through the thigh bone. I'm going to do hip rolls with the glute stretch. Put your left ankle onto the side of your right thigh. It's like the traditional glute stretch, but we have wider legs. And then if you've got your left leg on your right thigh, have a big breath in. And then breathe out and roll to your right. Look to your left. And go as far as the body allows. And then stay and do some abdominal hollowing. I'm looking in the opposite direction as I inhale and deep compression on the exhale. Exhaling and breathing out. And again, inhaling, exhaling the belly area, abdomen, trunks, core area, and then use the breath out to slow motion roll. Your foot ends up flat, your face ends up square to the ceiling. Take the leg away. Check you've got your V shape, in other words your feet are further apart than they were, and then take your right leg, same positioning. So you're in the traditional kind of stretch for the glutes, except we've got our left leg further away than it usually would be because we're going to add a hip roll. Do what you want with your arms, wide or close, depends on the stabilisation. Use your breath out to roll and turn and look the opposite way. You can turn your palm to the ceiling. Now the genius here is the ability to breathe and keep your shoulder blades flat. Inhaling and you'll notice that one side was much happier to rotate than the other. So the stretch all the way through the side bottom into some of your obliques. It depends how tight you are, people. All I know is you have to relax through the upper spine, relax the back of the skull onto the pad that you're using, and your head slightly turned. And the breath in and out is actually hydrating that whole area that gets stiff. Okay, so with the next breath out, belly button to spine, navel, pelvic floor, and roll all the way back. From that position there, you're going to come over and you'll end up on your hands and knees. So straight into all fours. We're going to do thread the needle, but with the hips hinging backwards, okay? So just practice your backwards hinge. That's not tucking under. Your elbows bend and your hips sit back. Your elbows bend, the spine stays straight. Now that we understand that, everyone place your right hand about the centre, under the belly button, palm to the belly button. As you hinge backwards, thread and stay. So my left arm is bent, my right shoulder's to the floor, I've hinged back. If you can get your head to the floor, do so. You're just stretching through the shoulder, but without the breath, you're not. So breathe in and out. You'll feel your abdomen push against your thigh bones. You're staying true centered at the pelvic area. In other words, you're not twisted. It's your shoulder armpit that's come under you. And then you're ready to return back. So you slide all the way back and thread the hand back to the other side. Are you ready? So stabilize. Take the hand under. This is now the left hand facing the navel. Start hinging backwards, bend the elbow, and then turn and look. And again, you might find that you don't go as far, because none of us, unless we're just truly bendy and bend everywhere, get that sense. So keep breathing deeply in and out. I'm just going to turn and speak to the microphone. Your shoulders released, your hips have hinged, you have equal load going through both knee joints, shins, and the shoulder is relaxing into the position. Your right forearm, elbow is on the floor, you've hinged at the elbow, hinged at the knees, and then slow motion exhaling, unthread, and find yourself straight into hands and knees. Just to get a little bit more warmth here, we're going to take ourselves to knee hovers. So big breath in. Switch on your trunk stabilizers, your armpits, and then float the knees off. Stay where you are as you lead up and down a bit. Exhale, up. Keep your head looking down, inhaling down, exhaling. Up you go fractionally, inhaling down. 2 more. And last one. And let that go. You're now going to your side position. So we're side lying purely for the reasoning of lengthening, stretching, stabilising through the hips. Again, with the head pad here, you should be able to put your hand under your head and more or less be in the right place. Now, if you've got a towel, you could simply double it up a bit more. The whole aim of a head pad in this position is that your neck is level with your sternum. So whilst you get into your position, my underneath leg, I'm going to keep it relatively softened, not massively straight, just because I don't want massive stress. I want mobilisation with stability. So the first exercise is to exhaling, shrink, lift, and inhaling lower. Your waist is off the floor on the side you're lying. And remember the activity, it's about your breathing, inhaling and exhaling. So you can either float up on an inhale and draw down on an exhale. Whichever way, your breath out has to register as a trunk stability sequence. In other words, if you're doing this accurately and you had your fingers towards the hip bone on the underneath side you're lying, you would feel the fibres activate when the breath out is sufficient as your leg floats and returns. Shoulder away from the neck. Now take this to a small circle, inhaling and once you've registered what's going on at the pelvis and that the waist is off the floor on the side you're lying and all of your breathing muscles are involved in this activity, you can then monitor the hip bone. It can't roll backwards nor forwards. Okay, point your toe, keep the underneath leg heavy, go back the way you came with the detail of the hardest moment is the leg coming up and over the top of the circle. So you may want to play around with your breath. So you'd inhale to float down, exhale up, so that both sides of your obliques are working really hard. Okay, people, the next time that finishes, stay. The leg that's been slightly bent is now going to just extend. So if you look at your leg, it's forwards as though you're just in a stride for a walk. My other leg is under me and I'm keeping the distance as though I was stood on both feet. Inhaling, I'm going to point the toe and come to parallel with the other leg. Exhaling, I'm going to go back again. Are you ready? I've gone back to neutral. Inhale. And keep the waist. Inhale. And drive the hamstring, the glute back. Both sides of you are activated. If they're not, use your pelvic floor and your oblique wall because your body partners every muscle. Breathe in and float that leg forwards. Breathe out and add your own tension coming from the seat muscles and the side bottom. Inhale, it goes forwards. Exhale, it goes back. Last time, inhale it forwards. Exhale it back. Now allow that leg to lower down. Reach your arm. Lift your waist off on the side so you can see a gap appearing. And close the gap. Inhale. Lift the arms to the side. Exhale, close it. Last time. Inhale to lift that, shortening your oblique and mobilising you from the hip bone to the ribs, and relax. From there, come onto your hands and knees. just here. And we're going to do a stretch that goes, put your left leg out, the leg that was the top leg for you, whichever way, ideally, it wouldn't really matter to be honest. So I'm in the all fours position with my hands chest width, shoulder width apart. My kneeling leg is directly under my hip bone. Bend the elbows, hinge backwards like we did earlier for thread the needle, but this time it's for your adductors, your inner thighs. Try not to let your ankle roll or point your foot away from you, as I've seen some of you do. Susan, listen to me. And come back up again. Now, if you can't kneel all the way back, just take the elbows and bend them, people like Margaret, I suspect, with your knees. So you can't traumatise your knee joint just because you're trying to stretch your adductors. So breath out. Sitting bones go back equally. Breath out, coming back up again. One more. Exhale. Push your seat backwards. Don't tuck your bottom because you lose what's relevant here for the adductors all the way through here. And then pulling yourself up. Come and kneel on the knee of the leg that's just been out there. And take your other leg. So I'm keeping my legs level with my knees. I'm keeping my trunk stability as though I'm doing a true all fours activity. And the elbows bend as you breathe out. Breathe in once you're there. And breathe out and come back up again. Exhale to bend. Pull the seat back. You might find one side not as tight as the other. That is part of this. So breath out. Breathe in. Think of WD-40, because every breath out and breath in hydrate things you can't even name. And we go again. Big breath in. And the smiling breath out. All the way back up. Now you're ready for the other side. So get your alignment, get your pad, and side lying, obviously with your head where it belongs. You look down at the underneath leg, you look down at the top leg, and you're making sure that your shoulders are lined up with each other still. So first things first, get breathing. You've got a subtly bent underneath leg. You flex. The underneath leg isn't resting. It's actively down there, but basically. So inhaling to lift. Exhaling to lower. Inhale. The lift, remember, is a reach. You don't go very high. Exhale. Now that you're breathing, register not the leg, but your abdominals. The area between the hip bones needs to feel that there's a tension going on, particularly on the breath out. And you've got what's called the crest of the iliac. So where your hip is, that sense of this area becoming alive as the breath out compresses the abdominal area is what this is all about. My ankle is flexed. My hip bones are stacked, one on top of the other, and I can keep my waist off the floor. Next time you come down, you change the activity to circling. Still keep the sense of the breathing, inhaling and exhaling. It doesn't matter quite where your breath in and out is. What matters is that you can feel the influence that the breath actually is, okay? So inhaling and shoulder away from the neck. The feeling of a smooth articulation of the thigh bone within the pelvis that's staying absolutely level from left to right, up, down, top, bottom. And that your waist on the side you're lying is completely drawn up and involved in what's going on. Okay, people, changing the influence of the direction. So now go back the way you came. Remember, your thigh bone reaches out of your hip bone. The hip, the pelvis, that joint is trying to mobilize, hydrate, and get all the stability muscles working with it. The movement pattern of the circling should lead you to your side bottom, working really hard. And you've had all the time in the world doing this to get switched on in your abductors by switching on through your breathing core muscles. This is the last one. Stay still. Now, straighten out the leg that was bent as it's now forwards of you. I'm trying to look at the screen as well. This leg now comes forward, the top leg. It flexes, check your waist hasn't collapsed, and it drives back. So inhale, pull that leg forwards, over, mirroring the underneath leg. Exhale, push it back. Keep going on. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. Check it hasn't dropped down. It shouldn't be on the ankle of the other leg. And breathe in, hinging at the hip. Breathe out. 2 more. 1 more. And let it lower down. As it lowers down, reach your arm, create a rainbow, create a lift of the underneath side, and close the gap. So opening the gap on the underneath waist side and closing the gap. Last time. And you're ready for your front. So lying on the front, again, head pad needs to go under your, I'm going to actually commit for the demo mat. Your head pad needs to go under your forehead, and you want to be able to reach both arms right away. So my head pad gives me space to breathe and rest through the back of the neck, lengthened. So not my eyebrows, but my frown line is on this block. My legs are lengthened, they're parallel, and my arms are reaching. And all you're going to do initially is keep breathing deeply in and out, making your body longer than it's ever felt. So inhaling and exhaling, let's go. I'm just going to talk to you, you carry on breathing. The reason I'm making you stretch and breathe is I want you to tune into your core working from the ribs to the pelvis. So every breath out, imagine all of the energy gathering behind the belly button, the navel, and the navel pulling away from the floor, and the pubic bone becoming quite dominant, and the rib cage not poking into the floor. Once you're doing that, you're hydrating a lengthened spine. Keep your head heavy, and then with the next breath out, see if you can float the right arm up, and inhale, lower it down. Exhale the other arm. Inhale and lower. If you want your thumbs to the ceiling, because it gives you a better upper arm area, that's grand. So your arm floats as you breathe out. You don't force anything. Now, if you've got an issue, we can have bent arms. I always feel as though I'd rather your arms are reaching and you don't lift them, you just breathe. We're moving on now to the legs. So now as you breathe out, let the thigh float away fractionally and lower. Exhale, push the thigh away. Inhale and lower. Exhaling. It's not your calf muscle, it's your hamstring. Now add diagonal arm. Breath out, make it happen. Float your arm. Inhale and down. Breath out, leg arm. Inhale and down. And now see if you can add a turn. So if you're a swimmer, as you lift your arm, turn and look under that arm. Your nose turns. Your nose turns as though turning it kind of under your armpit, elbowish area. Once more each side. And then slide your hands under you, about just above shoulder height. Breathe out now and push all the way up. Find your chest open. Find your shoulder blades down your back. because of everything you've done so far, this should be relatively comfortable to hold. I'm breathing, I'm not really because I'm talking, but you're breathing in and out, pulling your hip bones to your navel, then pulling your navel up in the direction of your sternum, and you're pulling your shoulder blades back. Okay, we're going to bend the elbows, but keep the head looking forwards as though reluctantly we lay the thoracic spine down, and big breath in. Exhaling, extend away, find your armpits, find your glutes, and push your thighs away from you. So as I'm pushing into my thighs, I'm lengthening my legs, but I'm keeping my trunk stability system absolutely active. Collarbones wide open, and then slowly bend, bend, bend at the elbows. Breath out. Slide your arms by your sides. And we're going to do hovering head, hovering forehead. Breath out, side reach to the side thigh. Breath in, return. Exhale, horizontal slide. Breathe in. So it's back to that movement that we did lying on your back. You've got the shortening of the oblique. Your nose feels as though it's drawing a bit of a semicircle. Your shoulder blades are towards each other. Your thighs long and reaching. And if only I could breathe and not talk, life would feel so much more comfortable. Okay, people, put your hands under your shoulders. Pull your bottom back. And walk your knees under your pelvis. Make sure they're level. And put your head to the floor. Hands go into child pose. You're going to stay and breathe there. And when you finish that breathing there, bring yourself all the way up. And I've got one last position for you. And the only way we can do it is to get ourselves standing. You need that opening of the hip, okay, with load. So find your clothing level, of course, and then sit your bottom back. And go as deep down as you can, pulling the thighs open. So work your feet out. Yes, they're in turnout. And just ease down and up. You can let your head hang. I'm not tucking the bottom under, so I'm going to show you from the side. My bottom is staying so that it's relatively flattened at the spine. My movement range is coming from the inner thigh and the knees. I press into the heels to pull the belly breath out down. So it's as though my abdominal wall contracts more and more as I go deeper down. The pelvic floor draws all the way up through that system there. Last two. Last one. And slowly come back up. Actually, there's one more thing I want to do. I promised myself I'm going to try and make you do this every day. Yesterday I taught spiraling, okay? It's like a hula hoop. And if you were to put your fingertips onto your hip bones, and there's this small movement pattern, it originates with the obliques. The obliques only get involved in this with the breath. The only way I can describe it is that as you come forwards and you feel as though your pelvic tilting, inhale, float it backwards. Exhale. Inhale, float it backwards. Exhale. Going the other way. Now, keep going while I talk. I've decided that if you can do this in the privacy of not being seen, there are some movement patterns that we naturally are a little bit shy about in the studio. So this is a great movement pattern, and you'll already feel as though it's freeing up parts that other things don't. Spiraling is something that the body wants, and it's something we lose with age, really. So have a little play with this. One more. And I would always use the exhale as the frontal part of the rotation of the hips. Okay, people, we are done. Another day, another Thursday, week 8, and we're staying alert. Nothing's repeated. Everything we're doing is adding and progressing. So it's a goodbye from me. No idea where my glasses are, so the truth is I can't see anything, but I will wave goodbye. Lovely to be with you this morning. Glad that you're tuning in. And here's to another weekend. Hopefully you stay safe and well. Tomorrow is Tom and Tanya time. He said to me this morning, are we in tomorrow? What are we doing? The answer is yes, we're in. And if you have any requests from Tom, I'll see what I can do. Lots of love to you all. Take care and keep on with your Pilates, staying alert.